Good morning, everybody. It's Teepa. And this morning, I want to respond to a question that came in. And it's one that comes in or gets raised up with fair regularity, sometimes by the person who experiences the direct impact, and sometimes by family members or friends or professionals who are around the situation. Because when dementia happens to one person, often there's an immediate individual who's been really close to them who might have like switch places, and now there's this pinching. But what we know is that there are others around, and sometimes it's really important if there's a lot of pinching that this person that's seeming to be in at odds might want to actually switch up with somebody else so someone can stand to the side and notice things and not be in direct line of fire. That doesn't mean we switch around and we support the person who's saying that's not what happened. That's because here's the situation. It's something that we talked somewhat about a few days ago or a few sessions ago when somebody asked about, they say something happened, it didn't. And this is a specific one. And this is one that comes up. I've seen it most frequently, I would say, with Lewy body. I've also seen it with mid state, emerald state with Alzheimer's in moments of particular, sort of a delirium type state, an acute episode of kind of something. And the cure it is dealing with accusations of having an affair, being unfaithful. Are the suggestions the same about staying curious, or are there other things that should be done instead? And I would say staying curious is super important, but it's hard to be curious when you're being accused of something you didn't do. And particularly, it's really difficult, I have found, for folks who are in a second relationship. In the first relationship, there was infidelity involved in it, or there has been a history of a sense of one person not equal to the other in the relationship, or some other trauma in the past in the relationship. That's sort of so. Here's the thing, and this is a little tricky. I will say it's a little tricky. If it feels too intense for the person who's experienced the accusation, I would say try not to be the person who's in response mode, because it's hard to stay curious when you truly are feeling beaten up and beaten down by this. If you are in a decent place, you can do that thing we talk about, which is really getting in position so that you are truly not in opposition. So, wow, huh? So you're you're really frustrated with me because of an affair, huh? An affair. Tell me more about that. To the best of my knowledge, that's not something I do. I'm pause because I need to pause in that moment. I need to allow some space. And it's so tempting to keep giving words, keep trying to say that's not true. But instead I said, you know, that's not like me. I don't think I've done that. And I'm really still curious. So I want to know how deep, how strong, how intense is this emotion? Is it because I talked to the aide when they came in and I didn't include? Was it because somebody stopped by at the front door and gave me something and he saw me laughing? Could it be that there have been times where my attitude looks more like I don't care as much? Maybe the physicality of our relationship is changing. There's lots of possibilities of why this might be interesting or different. Um, Interesting. I'm not sure when I'm in that seat, I'm going to be using the word interesting, but it is in that if I can't stay curious, I need to step back a little bit and perhaps have someone else raise this up and be in that seat. Now, I did find a resource that I was in support of. So I'm going to do a link here, have Matthew do a link for us. Rita, who's a medical provider, and her name is, let me get it right, Delusions in Dementia. Her name is Dr. Rita Jablonski. And this is a few years ago that she did this blog post, but I think it's relevant and it seems right on target. Now, her website is a little interesting in what she's chosen to call it. And it's Make Dementia Your Bitch, which is interesting, wouldn't be my first choice. But she is doing a series, she was doing a series on delusions and dementia, and she particularly addressed this topic. She had some specific ideas. And so, if you want more possibilities, maybe click on the link and go check it out, see what you find. I found reading it to be positive and helpful. And she's on target with the idea of, this is the brain condition, not the person. This is the confusional state where the brain, deep brain, the amygdala area, is really feeling uncomfortable, unhappy, dissatisfied about something. And so our job is to try to sort through that, because if we know, in fact, that is not the case, then we got to figure out what's driving that sort of script for the person. And I would say, if you're feeling hurt, you could say, wow, I am so sorry you're thinking that, because that really hurts. I don't know what I've done to make you feel like that, but I want to make that different because that's not okay. Um, I'm really sort of confused about it. So I'm owning my own confusion, which could be sort of helpful. So give it a try, give it a listen, give it a thought. If you have more questions, let me know. I'm here to help where I can, or look for other help. Um, we're in it together, and it's not always easy. Thanks for asking, and thanks for listening. Talk to you again soon. Take care with your care and take care of yourself.